Welcome back, guys. We're with Tim Evans. He owns Elite Paving. I've known him for a lot of years, since high school, and I just wanted to bring him on because he has a really good story of how he had a lot of issues growing up, a lot of trouble he dealt with, but came out of it and now running a multi-million-dollar paving company, doing jobs all across the state, and just thought he had a real good perspective to give everybody. So thanks, Tim, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So just go ahead and start in on, I guess from the beginning, you kind of learned paving.
Mm-hmm.
I guess start with high school, and then what got you into paving in general, and then kind of, your story
Sure.
getting to this point.
So I started working for a local company who's from here in Forsyth. I think my freshman or sophomore year in the winters. So every summer, I would work for them. They gave me the opportunity. Like you said, I was a little troubled in high school. So, they gave me the opportunity to work in the summers. So I did that every summer until I graduated, went to Parkland for about a month, and said that's not, that's not for me. So called them back, and went back to work for them in the summer. But every day I was working for them, I'd get off work with them, and I'd have had this old shitty SUV, and I would have it loaded down with buckets of sealer from Menards. So when I get off work from them, I'd go out and knock doors till 8, 9 o'clock at night. Did that, I think, for another couple years, and then an opportunity, another local person, doesn't live around here anymore, came over here, and we kind of partnered up. They had a paving business in another state. Did that for a couple years. Then left them, went on my own. I started Elite Paving when I was, I think, whenever I was about 19. I started the corporation or whatever. But
right.
Whenever I partnered with them, but did that for a couple years. Went on my own for another year. Then partnered with another local paving company for about a year. The partner thing was not for me. That's very, very hard to do.
It is
what
hard.
I mean? It's just like a getting married.
Yeah.
Right. So if your values and stuff don't align, it's just not going to work.
Right.
So I left that, and then I think 22, 23 is whenever I was completely 100% on my own. Kept sealing. My mom actually helped me get a seal rig, gave me a loan to get a seal rig, paid her off that year, and then from there, just little by little every year. Started getting more and more equipment, more and more guys,
Right.
And then just kind of took off. From
Okay.
there.
So how long has it been just you, Elite Paving? Like
12 years.
12 years. Okay.
Yep.
So from about 2013-ish.
14 is
14?
actually when it was. Yeah.
Okay. So about 11 years. It's just been you and no other partners, Elite Paving.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you did a lot of residential back then. Obviously, it was small jobs.
Right. Yep.
What kind of clicked for you to just start scaling to the point where now, 11 years later, you're doing $1 million jobs across the state for big companies.
Yep. So the reason I kind of transitioned into the commercial is, number one, this area is saturated with driveway pavers, right? Customers are hard, homeowners are hard to deal with
Sure.
as well. And it's very hard, in my opinion, to scale, at least around here in our market, because it's a challenge to work, period, with the plants and stuff like that. It's hard to scale that, So to me, the commercial, it's easier to manage. There's obviously a lot more money, and it's more secure, especially during COVID, everyone was tightening it up, residential-wise,
Sure.
commercial-wise too, but commercial is just more secure. That's repeat work. Whenever you get these contracts with these
Right.
people, you're going to have work every year. So that was kind of my whole thinking behind that.
So you were intentional about going to shifting to more commercial than residential. It wasn't like just the way it happened. You're like, okay, this is, if I'm going to scale,
Yeah, exactly.
I need to get more commercial. What did it take to get into that? Was it just advertising, or was it
going after the
knocking?
customers? The same exact way, just hustling those customers, getting in. Well, number one, the quality of work, right? Like you've got to
Right.
be a legitimate, do good work, and it's a different scenario than dealing with a residential customer. Like a commercial customer, they got a punch list, that you got to take pictures, you got to have a site, what I mean, just the whole 9 yards. So you got to be a contractor such as that, that aligns with what they want.
Right.
So, and I just seen an opportunity there because there's a lot of contractors that are normal contractors, they don't go through all those steps. They don't, do all that. So I seen an opportunity there as well. Like, there's not really anybody, a small paving company around here that provides that. Really bigger guys do, right? But
but they don't have a bunch of competition, right? I mean, around here, there's a couple bigger guys, and there's not a whole lot after that, right? I mean, for the commercial side.
Yeah, no. There's not. I mean, the local paving companies do commercial too, but I mean, not
to the scale.
I don't think to the scale. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't get into other people's business, but maybe they do. But I don't think not to the scale we do. And one of the things with us too, I mean, we work all over, like you said,
right?
All over the state, and you kind of have to because there's it's just such a small market around here, right? So
there's only so many commercial parking lots and whatnot to do, and
right. And I mean, we service from Peoria all the way to Southern Illinois. Not only that, you want to be a one-stop shop for these commercial, these vendors. So that was another thing about me going everywhere is, hey, I want them to call me, and that's kind of how it is. They don't even go searching for other people, because we're competent. They know, oh yeah, definitely.
Building that trust.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about, trust.
Because they know that even if something, I mean, I'm sure it's happened, something's gotten messed up on the job, that they know you're going to come back and fix it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no hesitation.
Right.
I mean, the grinding early years, I mean, what would you tell someone, like a younger person that, I mean, any business, it's going to take that, but like what's some things you would tell them? Like, hey, be prepared to get your ass kicked, obviously. But
number one, man, just getting started. I think a lot of people want to do their own thing. They want to start their own business, all that, but they never get started. They don't actually just get in and start doing it. Like you don't even need a business plan. You know what I mean? If it's something to do, I mean, just take action and do it.
Right.
I mean, that's what I did.
Well, yeah, you just started buying the material and knocking doors. Well, I mean, especially with something like that, it's like, why not? I mean,
exactly.
I mean, at that point, you're just doing it as like a side hustle.
Right.
To try and build something up.
Yep, and that too, and just hustle, man. I mean, nothing beats hard work. I don't think. I'm definitely not smart by any means. You got to be willing to work, man. You got to be willing to, no matter what business it is. I mean, paving for sure, but I mean, you got to be willing to put in the 60, 70, 80, 90 hour, weeks. 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I don't. Either you got to be willing to do that, or
I like the quote, I quit. I'm going to, you're going to quit your working 40 hours a week to work 80 hours for yourself a week.
That is correct.
I mean, you're the people that get that misconception that Tim Evans gets to do whatever he wants in a week.
Yeah, that's not the case.
Is just crazy because you work just as much as you did when you were actually out there physically paving.
Yeah, and just a different
it's
different scenario.
Just the different side. I mean, and that's
if not more.
Right, because I mean, no one else is going to work on your business the way you do.
That is correct.
I mean, you can train people to work in it similar to you, but you can't teach anybody to work on it the way you do.
That's right. Yep.
How has that transition been for you? When you made the transition of you work more on than in, has it been the last few years?
Yeah, really.
Because it hasn't been very long, really.
No, it hasn't. I'd say really within the past 2 to 3 years when we've really
gotten to a point where you can actually take a step back on the actual physical part to work on the business. How's that transition been for you? Because I know for me it was hard to make that transition. So I felt like mentally I felt like I was being lazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because because I enjoy the physical part, but nobody else can do the working on part, the financials, the planning for what the next move is, the things like that. So I mean, how was that transition for you? Was it like that? Was it like
for me, man, I mean, I know it wasn't that long, but I was kind of, honestly sick of being in the work, of doing it. I was just kind of doing in there because I had to be. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I enjoy doing the work, but you get to a point to where it's like, man, what is the point of owning a business if, you're having to, constantly be out there.
Well, because even if you worked 80 hours out in the field, you still had to do the other 40 hours.
That's exactly.
Of minimal stuff to keep the business running.
Right.
And that wasn't even the extra stuff to grow it.
That's exactly right. So, I was glad to make the transition because of that reason. It was actually double the work, and I don't think people understand starting out how much actually goes on the back end,
right,
and how important it is, to actually run your business.
Right.
If you want to scale, if you just want to be, a small.
Yeah, if you just want to make. Hey, I have a goal of making X amount a year, and
right,
I make that. Then that's your goal. Then hey, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep. Exactly.
But to scale to get to a point where your business is either sellable or scalable.
Right.
You have to get out of the physical day-to-day.
Right. And my whole point of wanting to go on it, is the freedom, right, of owning a business. Well, that's, misconception too.
Yeah,
people think I'm gonna own my own business and have all this freedom, but that's not the case until you do get your business, either running on its own or what have you. And that's that's where we're trying to where everything's operating on its own, Not to say I'm sitting on the couch, but
right.
But to where, if I wanted to take off for 3 or 4 days, it's going to be okay.
Well,
right?
like you were telling me about not that long ago, you got to go do a big networking thing out of state for a few days.
Yeah.
2 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to do that.
No.
In season.
Right, exactly.
You wouldn't have been able to do that.
Mm-mm.
But now you could go do something like that where you could make some connections and maybe get some bigger jobs even out of state.
Right. Which we actually just got back from Iowa last week. So,
but if you don't have the freedom to go do that networking, it's literally never going to happen. It's not going to. The chances of somebody out of state not knowing you at all is going to magically just call you and ask you to drive 300 miles to do a paving job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty slim.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta. That goes back to of being able to have the right people for it to run its own, because that is the most important thing, right? Sales doesn't matter what business it is, you got to have the sales, So, so it is. Yeah, us being able to, or me being able to go to those things and like that, and make relationships and connections. It's just better. It's good for the company. What I mean? Because it's helping us scale. It's more work. And the more work you have, and all that, you can pay your people better. You can create more opportunities. So, yeah, a couple years, 2-3 years ago, it wasn't happening. For me to pop off, not even for 5 or 6 hours.
Especially during season.
Yes, exactly.
We have that call that we have every week, and I feel like 2 years ago, most of the time you were working.
Right.
While being on the call.
Yep.
During season, because you had to.
Right. Exactly.
You didn't have a choice.
Nope. Well, sometimes still today.
You'll be, but at least it's not you're hopping on the machine.
Exactly.
There were times where it's like, I'm paving today.
Yep. That's exactly right. Yeah. It's honestly a blessing to be,
But you were intentional about it.
Absolutely.
That's what people, I think, especially some of the younger ones I talk to, it's like, how do you get to that point? Well, it has to be part of your plan.
Yes.
You have to be intentional about growing some other people to do some of those things for you, so then you can take that next step and do those bigger picture things.
Right.
To grow the company. Otherwise, you're...
One of the things you said is having a plan, I didn't, whenever I first started, I was intentional about it, right, in my head, that I actually didn't have a plan. But I will tell you, if I would have actually sat down and wrote out, hey, this is a plan, it might not have went how I wanted to, right, like you're going to sway. But if I would have done that, it probably would have went a lot faster. I think that's
I think so too. I think there's a lot of value putting stuff pen to paper.
100%, man.
People, I think, miss that now. And I even say pen to paper, like not typing it on your phone.
Actually, physically
not
writing.
Typing it on a computer. Literally grabbing a pen and a piece of paper and getting away from all the distractions.
Right.
And putting it on.
There's a lot of power.
There's a lot of power, and I know there's scientific stuff that supports like you are X times more likely to achieve a goal that you physically write down.
Yep.
And all that stuff.
And man, it really is true. Like whenever, just personally, whenever I actually started taking the time to write things down, which was, maybe only 4 or 5 years ago, man, things excelled a lot faster. They went a lot quicker, you know, because it's just kind of like, I use this example all the time, if you're going to a place you don't know and you don't use the GPS, it's going to take you a long time to get there.
Right.
But if you use the GPS, it's almost like a straight shot. You're going to save a lot of time.
You're staying on the path.
Right. Exactly.
The whole time. Yeah, and for people that, I actually still write my daily list, at night before I go to bed for the next day. Once again, even Hill thinks it's a little crazy. I still write everything out instead of just typing it out on my phone or whatever. There's something different about being able to just grab that piece of paper and I don't know. And I'm big into marking it off, as I get it done.
Yep. No, I am too.
It's visual it's just a visual thing.
Yep. I would so much rather write something down on paper than even put it in my phone.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
The only time I put stuff in my phone is if it's a busy day. I'll put it in my phone and I have that notes thing.
Right.
Then at night, I just pull it all off. I write it all out.
Mm-hmm. I do the same thing.
And then delete it off my notes.
Yep.
Because I can't, I can't do it any other way usually. I don't have my notebook or my clipboard right next to me the whole day.
Yep.
Or whatever. What are some other things that have helped you kind of get to that next level? I know you've done some mentoring programs where it's industry specific and not industry specific, right?
Yeah, that's the self-development thing. As you know, I went through some shit personally when I was younger. For me, that was the self-development, actually getting into it and reading, paying for programs. That was the biggest thing for me, mentally, and getting over that hump of the running the streets, as I like to say. Whenever I was younger.
Did you do a good did you just start buying any course you could, or did you do some vetting? Because I know there's a lot of stuff out there that's useless.
Yes.
That it's just people that have never even ran a business.
Right.
Are putting because now you got the content gurus, and they're putting all this stuff out there, trying to just get you to pay that $200 for this or whatever. Did you have any that you were like, okay, that one
100%. Yeah, I don't even
give
know
me any value. I can tell, because I feel like if I'm going to pay for advice, I want somebody that for me that owned and ran a restaurant.
Yeah.
That built one from the ground up. I want them to have had the hands-on experience. Otherwise, I don't understand why I would pay for anything.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so whenever I first got in, I just started, reading Think and Grow Rich, all those main things first. And then, I started following people. And they're kind of, Grant Cardone was a big one.
Sure.
And then kind of started following some people from there. But to answer your question, I spent a lot of money and was like, dude, this guy don't even know what he's doing. And then you look him up, and they haven't done nothing. They're making their money.
So that's a caution I try to give, vet whoever if you're gonna pay for some sort of mentorship or class or anything, vet that person and see what they've actually accomplished, because I don't know why else you would pay money for something.
Right, exactly.
Because in their Instagram picture they have a fancy car and all this stuff.
That's where they get you.
They probably leased that car. They don't have
exactly.
They're just they put on the facade and they don't actually have the real world experience.
Right. Yeah, so I started, after making those mistakes, I did start looking up, you know what I mean? When I'd see someone on Instagram, I'd be like, well, what have they done? How much are they worth? Have they proved themselves for me to
and as you grow, your criteria for what you're looking for is probably changed. Now you want you want mentorship from someone that has a $20 million paving company, not a small mom and pop $1 million, $2 million paving company.
Exactly.
But 10 years ago, you wanted the advice from the 1, 2 million, and it's there's nothing wrong with leveling up and getting that getting that guidance.
Yeah. To kind of hit on what you're saying is, don't take advice from people that aren't where you want to be. Right. I think a lot of people make that mistake. Everyone wants to give advice and they haven't even done shit.
Right.
For the younger people, I would say that is a huge thing. Watch who you listen to.
Yeah. And who you surround yourself with.
Oh, that's for sure.
Youth on.
Yep. People don't realize, man, that the people you surround yourself with, the cliche, the 5 people you hang around with is you're the average. It literally is true.
Yes.
It literally is true. Whenever I started getting away from the quote unquote street people, running the streets, my thing, just everything started getting better,
Yeah, I always, with a lot of people, I always use that thermostat analogy,
Yep.
Because I feel like you and I are similar, we run at 100.
Right.
I mean, that's our setting.
Yep.
But if you surround yourself with people that run at 70 or 80, you notice yourself running at 85 or 90, and I'm just like, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I want to run at 100. I want to find somebody that tries to figure out how to run past 100.
Yes, exactly.
Like that way I'm feeling pushed. I mean, it's the same not only with business, but the same with like in the gym.
Right.
Right. It is I think it's a little bit better when you're working out with someone that is focused and motivated.
Oh yeah.
But you can definitely tell when you have the workout partner that's just there for fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not.
It ain't no fun for you.
Yeah.
You're trying to go.
Just, like, I'm trying to like get better here.
Right.
And push myself and.
Yep.
And but it's the same in business.
Right.
Really, in any area of life.
Yeah, there is. There's, to go back to when we're first starting, like changing the mindset and stuff, I think that is should be your number one. I mean, it's cliche, everyone says it, but it really is like your mindset. And so that's what I was, whenever I was coming out of the hole or whatever you want to call it.
What was your mindset then? I mean, because like there's a lot of different negative mindsets that gets you in there. Like the one I hate the least is the victim mentality that some people will be like, oh, I don't have the same opportunities or blah, blah, blah. It's 2025. You can hop on that cell phone and learn anything. Like, someone can learn how to go seal a driveway on YouTube.
Yeah,
now, I mean,
exactly.
they can YouTube how to make a pizza from scratch. I mean, you can literally learn everything from your fingertips now. So I hate that thing.
There is no excuse.
Yeah, I hate the excuse and the victim mentality type thing. But what was your mentality and what shifts did you make?
Yeah, I would think just I mean, you only know what you know.
Right.
I mean, I definitely didn't come from no money. My parents were lower middle class. So you have that mindset, you have that thinking, of scarcity. So as I was starting to develop myself, I mean, you literally had to reprogram your mind in every aspect, whether it was business and just in general.
Yeah, how to even handle money.
How to even handle money.
Like, because, that's another big one. I mean, most people I talk to have no clue on how to handle. You could give them $100,000 and they're still not going to have that $100,000 is going to be gone a few months later, 6 months later, whatever, because they don't know how to handle money.
Right, the financial literacy, and that was a huge thing too. You know what I mean? If you're going to own a business, you better have financial literacy.
Yeah,
I definitely had none without self-develop myself. So, to go back to that, I mean that's the number one thing is the mindset is shifting to get your your mind thinking right, because you're whether you like it or not, business owners think differently than the majority of people. I mean, all the way around, not just about business. For the most part, I mean, you got a lot of negative, people that own quote unquote businesses and stuff like that.
But the business owner that's wanting to grow,
yes,
I feel like most of those people, at least the conversations I've had, and you probably have had too. I mean, those similar mindset. Yeah. There can be little things that are different, but like the overall mindset is very, very similar.
Right.
And it's very do whatever it takes. And what are some of those mindset things that I guess you had to transition into? Like what were, somebody that okay, I can tell they have the wrong mindset. What are some things you would say, okay, or like even some books you would tell them to read?
Yeah.
Hey, this is the way you need to start shifting if you want to get to here.
Right. Well, a good book is Magic of Thinking Big. That's one of my favorite books. But that's a big thing, the ability to think big, the ability to not live in scarcity mindset, an abundance mindset. All those things.
And I know you talked about already like the financial side, reframing that's a big one. Reframing how you
think about the finances.
Think about money in general, and how, I'm not a huge Dave Ramsey guy, but I do think 97% of the world should be big Dave Ramsey people, because like that is a great mindset to have, and to stay out of debt and everything.
If you don't know how money works.
Right, exactly.
Right.
See, now, if you want to get into that top 3-5% of the world that understands how you make money, you turn money and debt into working for you
Right.
for a higher percentage than you're paying to use it, then, but it's a lot of people don't understand that at all.
Right.
Or even take the time to learn it. So they just think, I want the new vehicle, so I just get a loan, I get that, but that's not good debt.
Exactly.
There's different levels to that. And that was one that, I would say I had for being, whenever Hill and I started, I would say I had an above average, understanding of money.
Right.
I was pretty fortunate to have that and always save and things like that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't.
There's no need to splurge. I
Right.
drove the same truck for 10 years, stuff like that. But when I actually started reading books and listening to stuff and really learning how money
Right.
works, then that's a game changer when you actually
100%. Yeah, and a lot of people, that'd be advice too, man, is if you're wanting to own a business, if you're wanting to you got to learn how that money works. You got to take the time to read, to get someone that to learn. And if you don't know nothing, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time to understand it. For
luckily
me,
now, even when we were starting out, there weren't podcasts
no.
Now you can throw an AirPod in, and you can listen to hours of content while you're driving. And even when, back in 2012, when you and I are starting, really starting.
Right.
You couldn't.
No,
there was some stuff, but it wasn't as accessible as it is now.
Right. Yeah. Really, now there's no excuse. You know what I mean? If you want to do it, there's really no excuse, because you can, like you said, when you're driving, put in that mobile university is what I call it.
And heck, there were plenty of times I would work out and listen to a podcast instead of music. I know it's not as. But if you're motivated about growing, it was good enough for me to still be able to have a good workout and try and learn something at the same time.
That's what I do. It's still to this day. I drive all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So that's literally what I do all day long, is I get probably 5 to 7 hours of material in my head every day. But that's what, 10 years ago, I started doing that. And that's where, I really learned a lot. I was maximizing my time, while I was driving around, knocking on doors or doing whatever I was doing, I was always listening to something.
I'm wondering if you agree with this. So, I've said this to a handful of people, and I've said it more and more recently when I've talked to people, especially when it comes to listening to content, reading books and stuff. I'm if you listen to an hour-long podcast episode, and all you get is one little nugget, 1 2-minute thing out of it, it was worth it.
Exactly.
Because so many people are oh, I'm trying to take notes and everything. No, you're missing you're missing the point. You're not trying to literally get every single little nugget out of that hour or 2-hour podcast. It's impossible. You can't retain it all.
Exactly.
But then get that one thing that can help you take a step forward and just get that hammered down.
Yeah.
And then listen to it again.
That's right. Yep, exactly.
Do you think that's a good approach to, especially with someone that listens to 5 hours sometimes in a day?
Yeah, it's very good.
You're trying to just...
I'm just trying to put it in my brain, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
in my
and
subconscious.
it can, you get that seed planted.
Exactly.
And you hear it in a different podcast. Or, okay, I've heard that twice now or whatever.
Right.
But my goal is always to just get one piece of advice or one little nugget out of something.
Yeah.
I don't try to... and it can be discouraging, reading a 300-page book.
Yeah. Especially when you're first starting and you're reading, it's man, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm just you read that chapter and you're holy crap, I don't even know what I just read.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, that's fine. Either read it again or just keep going, and maybe that next chapter is where you're going to pick something up that you can apply.
Yep.
And just try and get little things. If you get 4 or 5 things out of a 300-page book, that's still a win to me.
Yeah, and that's something I learned too, man, is you can't try to do it all at once. You're wasting your time, you know. Once you're, and I had to learn a lot, completely all the way around, personally and business-wise, completely change everything. So, but that's something I learned is just take 1 or 2 things, work on it, get good at that, then move on to the next thing.
Right.
And it takes time. It takes time to do. But if you don't do that, you're probably not going to learn anything. If you're trying to tackle it all at one time, I don't think
if you try to literally implement a 300-page book, I feel like you're setting yourself up to accomplish zero. Actually, you might take a step back.
Right. It's just like business, right? Like when you're trying to implement something new in your business, new system, new process, or whatever, you might have these 12 things you want to do, but man, you can't give them all to your people all at one time. It's just not going to happen. You got to implement one or two things, get that down, then you implement the rest. And you go through there. So it's kind of like a universal law.
Well, that kind of segues into the other thing. One of the main things I wanted to make sure we talked about before we were done was you've obviously been able to build a culture with your company, going from just you 12 years ago to, you have, I don't know what, at least 20 people working for you now, right?
Yeah, almost 25.
Yeah. And you're running multiple jobs in a day, and you're spread out. How has it been building that culture? Like, what are some things that you would kind of tell somebody that knows that they're getting to that point where, okay, I'm going to start building a culture. It's no longer me and two people that I'm just like working with daily. Like I'm, scaling. I'm going to have to start building a legitimate culture that buys into my vision.
Exactly. So number one, you got to get clear on your own values and goals, right? To build a culture, so who we are as a company, we have our values, and I hire people based upon that. I don't even care if you got 20 years of paving experience. If you don't align with us, in our culture, we don't want you, right?
Yeah.
And so having the right people that do align with your guys' culture values is super important. People really, they don't realize it. Like I see a lot of companies, they might get this guy that's a great operator and this guy, but out there in the field, they're negative. They don't, one guy can spoil the other 10 people.
Yeah.
And so I really try to avoid that. When we fire fast and hire slow.
Sure. Yeah.
So having the same, hiring people that align with your guys' values, and knowing where they fit within the company too. We do this. We make our guys take a test. Now it's called the PI test, but basically gives you like the attributes and strengths of people, and that has been big help too. Knowing where your guys fit, within things. Because a lot of times you can put somebody, they can be great people aligned with values, but you got them in the wrong place. So they're not as productive and they're not happy. So knowing that too, just really taking your time to vet people, to get the right people, make sure they align. But you can't scale, man, without the right people.
Yeah, it's so important.
You can't.
So
you got to have good people. You got to have right people. You got to be willing to develop people. That's one of our values. You've got to be willing to train, to want to develop constantly. I don't care if you've been out there 15 years, man. Like that's just what we do. Like we're part of a community, a trade community, and our guys are, most of our guys, like our more top guys, it's mandatory for them to be on there, to self-develop. I think it's super important to make sure everybody within your company aligns,
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and that's hard.
It's very challenging. It takes hard, a lot of time.
Especially when you're short-staffed and you're like, okay, I know this guy has 20 years experience. He could do the job, but he doesn't align, so I'm going to have to pass, and that's
And I've made the mistake, man, to bring those guys in, and they actually end up costing money, and where it causes you, maybe not so much money, but a lot of extra headache for yourself, because you're hearing everybody bitch, about it, or what have you, So if you're trying to scale, I'd definitely take the time with the people, make sure you're getting the right people.
Yeah,
for sure.
Really reset and, like you said, make a clear vision for yourself and your values before.
Right. If you don't know who you want, if you don't know your own values, how are you gonna build a culture? How are you gonna get them aligned? And another thing is getting rid of the bad eggs. Because one bad egg can spoil them all. So.
Are you a big believer in the people in the right seat on the bus type analogy? Like, you might have somebody that fits your vision, fits your culture and your values, but maybe they're not a good operator.
Right.
And do you take the time to switch them to something else if it's possible?
Yeah,
because that's tough. I mean, I'm a big believer in, making sure that you're putting the people in the right spot. Like, not everybody's built to be a manager.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Or to be the operator, or be the lead foreman, or whatever. Not everybody is built for that. Just because they've been doing something for 20 years, doesn't mean that they're going to excel.
That's right. Yeah.
It's kind of like there's I was talking with somebody, and they said one of the worst things that they ever did was they took their best salesperson and put them into management.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't manage at all, and they started
But probably a great salesperson.
But their best salesperson, and quickly it was like, not only did I cost myself money by losing my best salesperson, but I'm costing this person money because even though they're making more per hour, they're not as efficient, and now I have to replace them because they can't manage. And one of two things are going to have to happen. They're either going to have to be okay with being demoted back down to the lead salesperson, which if they're humble and they know and they're self-aware, cannot be an issue and they can be grateful. Or they're going to take offense, and
which is the case most of the time.
Which is the case most of the time. Then I have to fire them, or they quit, and all I did was cost myself a year of not having an effective manager.
Right.
And I lost my best salesperson.
Yep. Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying, to make sure that, just like what you just said, even if someone's running equipment for 20 years, that doesn't mean they can quote them, and they might know everything in the world about what they're doing, but they might not be a good foreman, So that goes back to knowing what people's strengths and traits, traits are. And the perfect example is, and we know him, that runs basically my foreman on the paving crew, He doesn't have a lot of experience at all, but he's a great foreman. He's a great manager. He can deal with people. He can delegate.
There's certain things you can teach.
Yes, right.
And there's certain things that, I believe it can all be taught, even to be a good leader. But to be a good leader, they have to really want it.
Yeah, right, and you got to have not everyone's a leader, man.
Right. No, not everyone's a leader.
Not everyone's a leader. Some people are just worker, and they're happy with that.
And that's the thing. Are they happy? And they're, takes being self-aware though, to know that you're maybe not the best manager or the best leader, and that's where I think the conflict usually happens. Is they think I am a good leader,
and they're not,
and then you're the one that has to tell them, you're not.
Yeah, you're not.
So either you have to grow in this way, or you have to not be a leader.
Right.
And usually either way, they're not happy with getting that conversation.
Exactly. And I've made that mistake a lot, putting people just because they knew what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. I've done it plenty of times over the years.
Yep. And they can't at all, but they have 20 years of experience, and I'll go back to the same example, my foreman now, he's only been paving 3 years, but as far as a leader, as far as, portraying our values and our culture, he does a great job.
It's the intangibles.
It's the intangibles. You can't
teach that. You can't make somebody motivated to grow in that way. Yeah. They either are built with those intangibles and are intentional about growing those intangibles, or they're not.
Right. I say it all the time. I say it in our mastermind, man. I would rather hire on the intangibles than on the knowledge, right? Because you can teach them the knowledge. Yep. If someone has the knowledge but they don't have the intangibles, dude, you're just, you're pounding your head against the wall.
Right.
The intangibles for our company,
Yeah. Right. Well, and every company has certain intangibles.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And so, really, and taking the time to, when you see that in somebody, to be proactive about trying to grow them.
Right, exactly.
Because those type of people appreciate it.
Yes.
And then they are more loyal and want to stick around, and because they know you saw it. They didn't have to come to you saying, "Hey, I feel like I'm doing a good job," or whatever. You know?
Exactly.
So being self-aware of that, I think is important too.
Yeah, and I think going back to the culture is getting people that are self-aware. You know what I'm saying? That are mature enough to understand.
Yeah.
Things like. He's another example. One of my salespeople. He's been with me since the beginning. And he went from a laborer to a, just worked his way up to a ladder. And I was a salesperson, but he had the intangibles. He didn't have any knowledge or anything like that. He just had the intangibles, and and he's worked himself up to now, going to make over six figures,
Yeah.
To where he was making $10 an hour 12 years ago.
Yeah.
But because he had the intangibles, I was providing the training for him, and he took it.
Yeah.
And so he's really helped develop himself. But that's the intangible I look for, the self-development. Are you willing to put in the work to
Are you teachable?
Yeah, are you teachable? That's right. If
mean,
you're not that 20-year guy.
To clarify, when people listen to this, like when we say intangibles, there are some that are industry specific, but really to me there's like a handful of them that are for every industry.
Yeah.
Are you teachable?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to outwork the person next to you? Like not in a negative way towards them, but in a, hey, I'm gonna outwork you in hopes that you try to outwork me.
Yeah, right.
And we push each other.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things.
And integrity, I would say.
Oh yeah,
integrity.
Yeah, having a character and integrity.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, honesty just goes into the integrity part.
Right.
But yeah, having character and integrity. If you have those four things, I feel like you'll be successful.
Yeah.
And you'll
most of the time you will.
I mean, you're gonna if you can do those things. I mean, you're gonna win eventually.
Yeah.
Like you're
not only
win.
if you're on your own or if you're working for somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're gonna go up. You're gonna go up the ladder.
And
if you
guess
have those.
what? You might be leveling up so much. You might outgrow that company you start with.
Exactly.
And you have to go to the bigger one because your intangibles run so high.
Right.
That and that's okay.
Yeah.
Most of the time, a good owner will even acknowledge that.
That's right. Yeah. And as an owner, this is my way of thinking. As an owner, if you have somebody that leaves you to go to a better job, dude, you did your job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You did your job by development. That's what me personally I try to do. If they leave me, I can't be mad if they leave me to go somewhere else.
If they got a better opportunity that I can't provide right now.
That's right.
Hey, you know
exactly.
what? I'm happy for you.
Yep.
Because as long as you did those intangible things, and that means you did your end for me, I did my end for you. I just can't grow as fast as you are needing to grow, or whatever, or the companies that are just like we're content right here.
Yeah. I would. This is kind of off topic, but a lot of people think that they want to start their own business and do all this. Once again, it takes way more than what you think. Number one, and two, not everyone's cut out for it, but a lot of times, man, if you just get in the right vehicle, meaning the right company or the right owner, dude, you can excel and get what you want, make the money or have the freedom or whatever if you're in the right vehicle. And I think a lot of people make a mistake to think they have to go do their own thing. They have to do, man,
well, you see paving companies come and go yearly.
Yearly, man. Everyone wants to do the, I'll give an example. Like there's, on that, I had somebody that, they wanted to go making good money for us, wanted to go do their own thing, went out, and they found out, and then came back, and realized. So, yeah, I mean, I think, you really, before you start a business, before you, really think, are you willing to do all that? Are you willing,
Are you willing to work more hours than you're working now?
Yeah.
Because I don't care how many hours you're working right now, it's going to be more.
Right. And on the monetary thing, I mean, you can forget about probably making money in the first, 1 to 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
So,
absolutely.
So,
and even if you start making, this is another big one that I feel like a lot of people miss. Even if you do, like, say after 1 year, you start making good money.
Yeah.
Don't just immediately start taking the money. Reinvest it in your.
That's exactly right.
Get yourself to where you're making, $50,000 or whatever.
Yep.
But even if you could take 150, put that other 100 back in the business.
Right.
There's no better return. You can't go put it somewhere and get better return or better interest if you have something, a business that has potential to grow. Reinvest it. Put it back in.
Right.
Just put it back in, and then once you have people, invest in them. Invest in. Because so many people are like, oh gosh, I can take $150,000.
Yeah.
Like, and they write themselves a check.
Right.
And they're like, cool, I'm getting myself a new truck, I'm getting myself a nice house, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, second year maybe isn't as good. And it's like, well, yeah, you didn't invest back into your business.
Right, exactly.
You didn't continue to double down on what you need as a vision.
Right. And I actually tell my guys this all the time, like, they think you're making all this money and that. Well, dude, it's, the company might be making money, but that's how
It is different.
you're not able to scale that fast. You're not able to, finance these jobs that we do without rolling that money back into the business.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's a mistake that I made at the beginning too. I was that guy. If there was just using them, if there's 100,000, I was taking, 70 or spending 70 or whatever. Luckily, I learned it. I learned real quickly. I just kept rolling it. I mostly live off my real estate now. And most of the stuff is just, or most of the money that the company makes, I put it right back in. Into developing the guys.
That's in your vision though.
Yeah,
now.
right, exactly.
You have a clear goal of where you're trying to get it to in X number of years.
Right.
What is the plan for Elite Paving? What is do you have an end goal? Is it?
There's a number in mind to where I'd like to at least scale to, and either whatever happens, if someone comes along and wants to buy an offer is good enough, that's not necessarily what I'm looking at, but there's a number
just getting it to a certain
getting it to a certain point to where I think would be that point to where I would be able to kind of step back and let the business run on its own. There's a certain number that I have that I think once we got to that point, it would be like that. But I'm the kind of guy, once you hit that, I'm a type of person. I reset. I want more and more and more.
Right.
Not because I want more, but it's a game.
If the goal is 10 million, and that year before you hit 9, you're like, my goal's 12 now for next year. It's not 10. So,
right.
But that's the thing, and that's another thing that I think people miss is making those goals.
Yes. Yep.
And writing that goal down. Plaster it on your wall in your kitchen or whatever. Like I want to do.
That's super important, or a vision board, or what have you.
Consistent visual reminder of like what your goal is, and
keeps you focused
every time you hit it before.
Yeah, right.
Because you're so much more focused.
Yep. I think along those lines, another important thing, especially as you start to have more and more success, is you have to reset, man, because you can get lost. If you're if you're constantly hitting your goals all the time, number one, they might not be high enough, or you're great at accomplishing them, but you can get lost. Once you accomplish them, then it's like. People like us, like it's not about the money. It's a game, right? Like we just want to,
right?
We just want to win the game.
I've had plenty of people ask, and I don't know if you have. Plenty of people ask me this. Well, when is enough enough? Like, well, that's
it. Don't have anything.
You're missing the point.
Exactly. Right.
It's not about enough is enough.
Yeah. Like I quit doing things for the money portion of it. Probably years ago. So this is just it. Really is. It's a game. But me personally, like, if I don't reset, hey, I hit my goal here. If I don't create a new one, then I fall into the weeds. Meaning, it's like, man, why am I doing this?
Yeah. That's when you go on those tangents of like, I'm going to pull off onto these 10 ideas I had and everything, and you're trying to implement a bunch of stuff. You're like, okay, of the 10 things, really only 2 of these things actually help me get to my big goal.
Yes, exactly.
So I need to, and that's the thing, but having that clear vision, that
clarity is everything, man. There's, once again, it sounds cliche, but it really, like, that is the number one thing, your mindset, and then getting completely clear and focused on what you want and where you want to go, It's like the GPS. If you don't know where you want to go, how you going to get there, And a lot of times it is hard to even think about, or not to think about, but to figure out, because, like, what do I want? What do I want?
Well, because we're all trying to figure that out. We're working 100 hours.
Yeah, right. And most people don't, they can tell you everything that they don't want, me included. But they can't tell you what they do want. And I think finding out, what you want and why do you want it. You got to have the why do I want it. Sure. It can't just be empty.
Sure.
Man, that's the number one thing, in anything, not just business, but in anything, why do you want to get married? Just because society tells you to,
right?
Or because you want to have that,
yeah.
I think a lot of people they just do things because that's quote unquote what they were taught. Yeah. That's what society does. And they don't stop and think.
Society says have a nice vehicle
right,
when you're 25.
Right.
Like, why would I not? Like,
right.
things like that. Actually, truthfully, you should just drive the beater until you can't. I mean, until you're. That's a goal of yours to not anymore, but you've gotten to a certain level of success to be able to just go buy the vehicle you want, pay cash, and be done with it.
But that goes back to of self-development, of actually learning. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what you don't know. So if you're always taught something,
and trying to find a mentor is huge. I mean that's
absolutely. And to speak on a mentor, like all my mentors, like they weren't physical, right? They were, like the Grant Cardone. You know what I mean? They don't have to be a physical person. You just
mentors thousands of people, but you
just got to find someone that aligns with you, and then you listen to them, you trust them. They don't have to. It doesn't have to be a one-on-one thing.
And now you've shifted a little bit into mentoring people now, right?
Yeah.
Like you help.
Right. Yep.
Which I think is cool. I mean, giving. I think that's part of what we're supposed to do, though.
Yeah, I think it's a gift or a benefit, or one of the great things about having a little bit of success or owning a business is you are able to do that. Because and like what I just said, I didn't have a physical person.
Right.
Whenever so I made a ton of mistakes. And if I would have, probably would have went a lot quicker.
No, I mean I would have. Gosh. Many hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of mistakes that I would not have made if I had somebody that had been through a physical or even a semi-physical mentor that could say, okay, well, this is why you don't want to do that, or hey, to prepare you, this is some stuff you should learn to prepare you for this side of things and stuff.
Yeah.
I
mean, I had people I watched, especially the company I work for. I mean, they are hard workers. They're great hustlers. I indiscreetly, they were kind of in a way a mentor, but not really. I was just watching what they're doing.
Paying attention.
How are they here and we're here? You know what I mean? What are their attributes? What are they doing?
Right.
Hard work. That's, I've seen how hard they hustle. That's number one thing.
You have to hustle.
You have to. Just going on the mentor thing. It doesn't have to be a physical person. You just got to find one or two people, not 1,000, but one or two people that are where you want to be, and just watch them, study them.
Yeah.
I still study people today.
Oh yeah.
So.
There's always somebody that's ahead of you.
There's always somebody that's ahead of you. I think it's important. I mean, if you look at all these, anybody, I'll just use Cardone or Brad Lee or any of them, man. They constantly, and this is a big thing for me. I always have a coach now. I pay tons of money to have a quote unquote business coach or whatever you want to call it. But, if you study those guys that I just mentioned and all that, they all do too. And they have billions of dollars. They have a $500 million. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they still do that. So that's
a common. That's interesting. They have a coach and they coach.
That's
because they know they need to help that guy on on the rung lower on the ladder.
Right.
And that's.
Exactly.
So when you told me that recently, I thought that was really cool that you take the time now to help mentor those younger, not necessarily younger in age, but younger business guys.
And it helps you too, man. I mean, actually
I feel like you learn. I mean, I've had plenty of times where I've had a college kid say, hey, can I interview you for this, blah, blah, blah. And you get in there and you're like, that's how I would answer it, and I didn't even really think I would answer it that way. Or get feedback from them. Oh, I haven't, this is what I learned, blah, blah, blah. And it's, I think there is stuff to still learn from
absolutely
the people the next level down.
Right. And a lot of times you'll see, things in them that you need to work on. You know what I mean? Or they might. So, man, it's I enjoy it. Whenever I do, I don't do it often, but it's enjoyable, man. That's one of the benefits.
It is. I love seeing someone that is hungry for success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's always nice when you walk away. You're like, you know what? I think they might get it.
Right.
They got obviously a lot to learn, but I think they might get it because they seem hungry enough to learn and grow, and they're already working 2 jobs to try and save money to do their goal. And
sometimes it goes the opposite way too.
Oh yeah,
so
there's been plenty of times that
you're asking for help.
You have no clue. You're not.
You're wanting a shortcut, and there is no shortcut. I promise you, I've tried every shortcut in the book, dude, and there seriously is not.
No,
you just got to put in the work, and do it. But I've had people come. It's like, man, you're not even you're not even listening.
Yeah.
You're not even willing to.
Right.
You know too much.
Yeah.
You know, or you think you know too much.
Yeah, exactly. You're not teachable.
Yeah, you're not teachable.
I can't help you.
You're not teachable. I can't help you. But that person, like you said, that you can just you can
That
feel
you can feel them
they got
sponging
the
the information
right.
you're saying.
Yep.
You can just feel it.
Now those people you want
Uh-huh.
to anybody wants to put their energy into those people
Right.
because they're
That's the
putting the
person
energy
that
right
calls
back
you the
into it.
next month, and you're like, yeah, I'll meet it with you again.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But thanks a lot for coming on, Tim.
Yeah,
I know
thank
you
you,
got
man.
a lot of stuff going on and everything, but I really appreciate it, and I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of value from all the stuff that you said.
I'm grateful for you to have me on here, man. It was fun.
Thanks.
Sure. Yes, sir.